Hello and welcome back to Inquisitor Martyr. Last time we started stage 3 of the Lacon Majoris invasion, and we'll just continue doing that.
Intelligence assets report several vulnerable cogitator stations in the area. Exact locations unknown. Tech priests predict moderate hostile presence.
So I was reading more articles on Bella Lost Souls, which, if you don't go on there, sometimes I'd suggest it for Warhammer. Like, the miniature side of it. If you're just like, I care about lore, you don't really need to go there. But I like to get kind of an idea of what's going on in the miniature sphere. They actually had a really good article, which was, like, which starter boxes are really good to pick up. And they had, Imperial Guard, which you get a Leman Russ in that. That's... The Leman Russ, I think, if I remember correctly, will pay for a good chunk of that box. I remember there was a box you used to get. They must have changed it because the old one used to be, I think, a Chimera tank. Which I think the Leman Russ is a better deal, but... whatever. It's still, honestly, great to... But that's actually a good deal. They had... Tau, which doesn't surprise me. Tau is expensive. I think the biggest thing for Tau is, like, battle suits. Battle suits are just really pricey. There was... I'm trying to think. They showed a picture, but they didn't mention the article, which was Adeptus Mechanicus, which kind of threw me off because I don't know why they wouldn't full-on have them mentioned, but just a picture as like a teaser, because last I checked, AdMech is stupid expensive. Like, to my knowledge, they are one of, if not the most expensive army to actually build and buy.
Initiated. Warning, enemy response teams nearby. Prepare for contact.
So it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, I can definitely see that one being a... Of course you spot me by wandering in. It's definitely one I would say get. Of course, these are all if you're interested in the factions. They had Thousand Suns, which... I'll be honest, I'm biased. I like Thousand Suns. I love their motif. I still think, like, Tzeentch factions really need more stuff in general. I've said it a million times. It's not like Khorne where you can get, a million different things and vehicles and all this fancy stuff.
Locate other cogitator stations.
There was... Who else was there listed? Standard Chaos Space Marines, which I can't find a fault in. Honestly, if someone were to be like, hey, I want to get into, a standard CSM, I just don't want to specialize into any one group just yet, yeah, I would go full on, say, get standard CSM box. You can always use them. And if anything, just say you're playing Black Legion. Black Legion has effectively everything in some capacity. At least lore-wise. I don't know if their rules have changed. Oh wow, they all died. I'm so used to those, when you get the sorcerers who can duplicate themselves, I'm used to those fights being just slogs of backtracking. They had Dark Eldar, which kind of surprised me, I guess, for the actual units in the box. They're pretty good. Once again, I don't know anybody who plays Dark Eldar anymore. Everybody's kind of pigeonholed themselves into, Necrons, maybe, like, I mean, it's not even Iron Hands anymore. Because they got nerfed a while back.
Harvesting data from compromised network. Warning. Hostile
Man, I don't
units
even know what people
inbound.
really do play. It's usually just super generic. People don't pick a lot of the more oddball factions. Which is honestly a shame, because that's where all the fun is. I've seen people play Custodes a little bit, but they're not that good, thanks to being a very low model, high cost army.
Locate other cogitator stations.
Apparently Henry Cavill, the guy who played Superman and plays Geralt in The Witcher, he plays Custodes, which is pretty cool. I will admit, finding out that guy is actually a colossal nerd made me happy. Because it's cool when you see someone famous have a similar interest. There's never going to be a point where I'm going to be like, oh man, I can talk to you about this. No way in hell. But it's just cool to see, I guess it's cool to see a side to famous people where it's just like, hey, they're actually just normal. Not everybody is some really weird, eccentric weirdo, you know? Not everybody's out here doing just weird shit. I can't even think. All I can think is like Gwyneth Paltrow tier stuff where it's absolutely just pants on head, you know, shoe up ass bizarre. And it's like, no normal human being does any of this shit. Flat out. You have to be actually insane. Or stupid. Or both. Or take the Gork and Mork approach. Stupidly insane or insanely stupid. But jumping back, the other... they had an honorable mention for the starter sets, which was the Demons and Nurgle. Which, yeah, I can see that. Speaking of Nurgle, I saw this picture. This guy is doing like a 3D model. Funniest miniature. This is why I love the more creative parts of the Warhammer community. This guy is, I don't know who it was on Twitter, but absolute genius. 3D models a Blight Crawler. If you don't know what it is, it's like a Nurgle-y, they're kind of like a mortar tank thing, but it's used, there's a Great Unclean One riding it like a mobility scooter, and they have a shopping bag hanging off, like the wire shopping cart bags, or baskets that you see, and they're wearing sunglasses. It's the funniest thing. I'd love to see someone field that as a replacement. It's too great. I don't know if Nurgle Demons or Death Guard got any new rules for zombies, though.
Pointed entry established. Harvesting data from compromised network. Warning. Hostile units inbound.
You see nothing. Thinking about that Dark Eldar box set, though, I don't think it contains, like... It contains Eldar and a couple of their vehicles.
Objectives are met. All data sounds
but it's
are now
nothing
in
super unique,
custody.
which kind of
Praise
sucks.
the Omnisire.
You know, I was hoping maybe some Urgle Wretches or a Homunculus or something really neat, but I think it's just an Archon, some normal Dark Eldar, and that's about it. Shard, I don't like suppression damage all that much.
We have a tough nut to crack. Our forces are unable to launch an aerial strike on a bunker protected by counter-battery units. You take out the artillery pieces first, then mark the bunker for the expurgation, while I feed you the necessary data from orbit.
So I'm wondering, has there ever... Like, Tau have clashed with Chaos? I know they have. There was one story where they found like this plaque that would cause demons within a radius to dissipate, so they started like wielding the plaque against the demons. But past that, I can't remember many instances, and I just wonder, what would Chaos Tau be like? I mean, Chaos any faction seems pretty interesting, but I feel like they could have some really interesting things thanks to being... not really being, but having Tau, Kroot, and Vespids. That said, I don't know how it would really synergize all too well. Like, a Tau Obliterator, I feel like would be using one of like the Crisis suits or something and kind of merging that into them. I guess it would be probably a little flimsier than a standard Obliterator, but a bit more shooty. But that would be absolute hypotheticals. I can't imagine Games Workshop would start creating like sub-factions in that instance. Though I would like to see an army built just around flayed ones for the Necrons.
Beacon in range.
I think it'd be fun. I don't think it could be very well or be very good.
Hostile unit down. Rinse and repeat. In the name of the Emperor, of course.
But I think it would be fun. Another interesting little thing to note is old lore. There used to be a Chaos robot, which if you look at the old pictures of it, it's effectively a Necron with the 8-pointed star on its forehead.
Beacon in range.
Now I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh my god, it's actually a Chaos Necron. No. This predates Necrons. This is something so old, I think they just flat out scrapped it. And we're like, yeah, that never happened. Or if it did, it was, you know, some weird thing like one of the Men of Iron. Which I really wish they'd bring back the Men of Iron. I know it's Dark Age of technology, super old stuff, but I just love to see them come back. I think that would be a really interesting armying kind of story beat to say, hey, humanity, you're dealing with a lot, but we're gonna drudge up something from your past you thought you escaped, but it turns out you never did. And honestly, any way to bring back some older weaponry and kind of revitalize some of the loadouts in the game. And I feel like those old Dark Age technology weapons and Horus Heresy weapons, those would be more interesting than a lot of the Primaris Marine stuff. I can't remember if it's the Intercessors or somebody. It's a dude on like a jetpack, or with a jetpack, and like a full-on autocannon. And I want to say the whole reason they were made that way was because jump units were part of the meta, so it was just trying to play them into the meta, and they just look stupid. It's like having a guy with... I don't even know. It would literally be a guy with like a 20mm autocannon and a jetpack. It looks so dumb. I would have rather them be like, oh hey, Call brought up some old Dark Age technology stuff. Here's insert old weapon here. Volkite blasters, or some radium weapons, or some fancy melt-a-gun. Just something that doesn't look so stupid. Because the thing is, it just looks so wonky. It'd be like having a Space Marine in Terminator armor, but he wields las pistols. You know, you'd look at that and be like, why? You can have anything else. Why are you using those? Because, you know, it would make sense for maybe like an Acolyte or a Scout Marine, something where they're a very light skirmishy kind of guy, where, you know, a bolt pistol or a las pistol makes sense. But you're not going to outfit your heaviest dudes with one of your lightest weapons. But that's just me. I just want my units to look cool. Is that too much to ask? Or I'm kind of bummed that certain design choices are really effectively locked. Like, we don't see any new Egyptian-themed Space Marines, because Thousand Suns were the Egyptian theme. So now, I don't get any cool Egyptian good guys. You know, I can't have a group of Terminators where their helmets look like alligators. Or actually, it'd be crocodiles, if we're being correct. You know, crocodile heads and being, you know, the warriors of Sobek or something. I don't get that. And that bugs me.
Objective completed. Great work down there. Is it heresy to think that these hostiles were a bit out of your league?
Berserk State, it's trash. Oh well. But that is all for now. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to hit the like button, it helps out the channel a lot, and if you haven't already, make sure to hit the subscribe button. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.